All right, hello everyone. Welcome in. Happy Thursday, I think it is today. Happy day 2 of the Black Friday sale. That's kind of where all of us here at Young Nails are at. We are on day 2 of the sale, right? I think it's day 2. Yes, I think it's day 2. We made it through day 1. Hopefully you guys had a great chance to jump over to the sale, take advantage of some awesome mystery boxes and some bundle deals and all kinds of great things. Today I am going to be kind of see all of my little swatches out here. So we're going to be doing some swatches of a lot of the different colors for you guys today. So we're going to be doing some education, all kinds of fun things for you guys. So I am excited that you're here. Guys, I have so much stuff on my table right now. I don't even know where to put anything. I am, you guys, I'll give you a quick little sneak peek here for those of you that are joining us. Here's our sneak peek of my station and all of the craziness that I've got out here that I'm going to be working with today. You guys, you can see a lot of new things on my station, all kinds of fun things. And I guess this is my spoiler alert. Sorry, you guys, if you're if you didn't want to see all the goodies, but spoiler alert, I'm going to be working with some of the things from the mystery boxes and all of the new products. Nails Minneapolis, are we doing swatches? Yes, we are going to be doing some swatches a little bit later. I am going to do a demo for you quick showing some of the fun colors and sparkly things that we've got from the sale. And then we'll do some swatches. So if you're wanting to see those swatches, definitely stick around with us, get some great education, and then you can see all of the fun colors. Guys, right now I'm just kind of making some room on my table here. So you saw all of the craziness. Let's see, somebody's saying work with the new black gel. You guys, I'm not going to work with the black gel today. We actually have a couple of videos that'll be coming out over the next week or two here with all of the different colors, all of the different products and everything. So you guys, everything that is new is going to be in a video. You will be able to see it, but I will do a quick demo of or swatches of all of the new colors here. But those of you that asked, the black gel, I do have it here, so I will swatch that out. I will show that to you a little bit later. You guys, I got to give you the teasers because you got to see the in-depth nails today, and then we'll get into the swatching and all the colors and everything. So we're going to start by prepping our nail just like we always do, pushing back those cuticles. And you guys, we do have the rose gold magic wand. I know that comes in one of the mystery boxes. I can't remember which one it is now, but that is the tool that I'm using to push back those cuticles. And then we will grab our e-file here. And you guys, bear with me because you just saw I have a ton of stuff on my station here. So I'm going to kind of be moving some things around as I work a little bit. But you'll be able to see all of the goodies that I'm working with. All right, so we've got our electric file, and I've got my medium sanding band in my hand piece here. And I actually am going to change this out. Let me grab a brand new one. So I'm just going to take that back end of my magic wand, push that onto that metal mandrel in there, and then slide that used bit off the end, and I'm going to throw that piece away. The sanding bands are a one-person use only kind of a product or a tool, so make sure that you are not trying to reuse those or sanitize and disinfect them. Always have plenty of extras on hand because they are something that you're going to go through, and you want to make sure that you're using a clean one for every client. Guys, I'm going to really quickly, bear with me, I'm going to clean off my lens here, just to make sure that hopefully that'll help to get you guys a nice clear picture as I'm working. Okay, I think that's looking a little bit better. So I'm going to just slide that all the way onto my mandrel. And I'm going to turn my e-file on here to about 5,000 RPMs. We're going to keep it, I like to say, low and slow. Okay, low and slow for your prepping. And we're just going to work right up around that cuticle area. Just keeping contact and kind of doing short little circular motions. Okay, so just little circular motions. I'm not trying to come all the way across in one. Okay, so you're going to come in, circle, pick up, circle, pick up, circle, pick up. The reason for this, and we're going to show you that same or a similar kind of technique through the rest of the nail, but you want to make sure that you're not keeping that bit on the nail for an excessive amount of time. So just maybe a second or even a fraction of a second, because that way it's not going to build up heat. It's not going to be uncomfortable to your client. So make sure that you're kind of working in that low and slow, those little circular motions all the way up around that cuticle area. So I'm kind of coming, if I turn that a little bit, I'm kind of starting in the top right corner, working up and around into that top left corner. Okay, once I get to that top left corner, my bit is at kind of a diagonal. I'm going to keep my bit in that kind of same direction. I'm not going to try to work across the nail like this. I'm going to work more diagonally, kind of from corner to corner. So from that top left corner down to that bottom right corner. And I'm going to work in kind of a feathering motion. Jennifer's asking how many RPMs. Right now I have my E-file at about 5,000 RPMs. So nice and low, nice and slow, and just kind of feathering that bit all the way across the nail. And again, you guys, I'm in that kind of diagonal motion, so we're diagonal direction, and working just kind of in that feathering motion across. Now, you guys, as you're working, and maybe if you are a little bit more experienced with the electric file, maybe you've had a lot more practice, you can do this really quickly like I'm showing you here. Let me go ahead and do it again. So as you get better with the electric file and your skills get a little bit better, you're going to again be able to go nice and quick and easily through that whole entire nail, catching all of those different areas. But when you're a beginner, sometimes it's a little bit tricky to kind of get that feathering motion. Let me back out and I'll show you here. So all I'm really doing is I'm just kind of using my hand to kind of feather that bit. I'm not really using my arm. I'm not using anything other than just kind of my hand motions here. So as a beginner, what I would recommend, until you get comfortable with that motion, what you can do is you can still stay at that diagonal. You can come from kind of that top right down to the bottom left, pick up, top right to the bottom left, pick up, top right to the bottom left. And this way you'll kind of get into that motion of it. And then the more you practice, the easier that motion's going to get. And you guys, it's a repetitive motion, okay? You're going to get into that kind of muscle memory, and your hand is really just going to kind of know where to go. So the more you practice this, the easier it's going to get, and the faster you're going to be able to do this. Now, even when I am working fast like this, I'm not keeping my bit on the nail, okay? I hope you can kind of see that or tell. So I'm not just coming across and grinding through that nail. I'm actually coming across and picking up, across and picking up. It's just going so quickly that you think it's on the nail, but it's not, okay? Now, another couple of things I want to show you guys is, say that I did get all the way up around that cuticle area, but maybe I have a little space down here on the side. Do you see how on the side it still looks shiny? I didn't quite catch that with my bit. And same thing over on the right side here. I didn't quite catch that with my bit. What I can do is I'll just turn the hand and I'll look kind of down the barrel or even from that side view, and I'll just on the left side use the top part of my bit, pull that bit straight down right through that area. Same thing on the right side, use the base of my bit now, touch that area and pull that bit down. That way it's going to clean up all of those edges, but you're not going to be trying to get all the way down into the corner. Yes, sometimes when you try to get down into this corner down here with just the bit, a lot of times what happens is you tend to kind of notch out that little corner. See that little notch right in there? That's what we don't want. So that's why we use the base of the bit to pull down and the top part of the bit over on the left side to pull down, rather than trying to get right up into that corner and coming up all the way around that side. Okay, so again, the base of the bit and then the top bit for those edges. Okay. And again, I was using our medium sanding band and about 5,000 RPMs on our E-file. All right, next thing we are going to do, we're going to grab our manicure brush and come back out here. I'm just going to clean off this nail, and we want to go through, get all of that dust off of the nail, clean that really well, so that way when we go to cleanse that actual nail plate, we don't have any dust on there. Now, a lot of times I think what people do is they see all that dust in there, they know that they're going to use their manicure brush, they just grab their swipe, which is our blue liquid here, and they put that swipe on their brush, and leaving all of that dust on there, they come in there and scrub. Oops, let me get a little more swipe. They come in and they scrub, and they think that because they've got that swipe on their brush, that it's going to clean off all of that dust, okay? You guys, I'm going to wait, and let me come in a little bit closer. Let's wait till this dries a little bit. I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not, but there is still just kind of a tiny little bit of dust all the way around this nail because I didn't actually dust off that nail first. You see how on this one, see all of that dust on there? I want to make sure that I get rid of that dust before I cleanse with my swipe so that I don't have any more extra dust on the nail when I'm done, okay? It's important to get rid of that dust first and then you can cleanse the nail. So let me come back out here. So again, we're going to use our swipe to cleanse the nail, and swipe is our cleanser. It is also going to kind of pull out any extra oils. It's going to kill any germs or bacteria that's on that nail, and it's going to leave a nice clean dry surface. It's going to balance out the pH level of our nail so that we don't have those excessive oils. We don't have any, like I said, germs or bacteria or anything like that. So when I'm brushing, notice that I'm brushing in a downward motion. I'm not brushing across the nail, okay? The reason that we don't brush across is if there is any last little bit of dust particles on there, those dust particles are going to get right down into those sides as you're brushing across. We want to brush down to pull out any of those dust particles from those sidewalls. So that's something that's going to help to keep your nails from lifting. If you have any of those little dust particles down on the sides, that can lead to lifting or your product separation. Okay, so always make sure dusting in the direction that the nail grows. Lots of questions about the sale in the chat here. You guys, we started our Black Friday sale yesterday. It does run until December 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, but I'm going to tell you guys, do not wait to shop. If you can shop, shop early, shop often. We are already on kind of the last legs of some of the bundles. I think the Brook AB box, I think that might be getting low in stock. So you guys make sure that if you have things that you want to get, that you get them now. So some things can run out. CJ and PA, yes, certain items or quantities can run out. So get onto the website and get your shopping done. Stick with us during our demo here, but definitely go and get your shopping done. All right, so next thing we're going to use, now that our nail is nice and clean and dry, you can kind of see it does look kind of that chalky dry look. That's exactly what we want, and we want to make sure that we are waiting until it gets back to this look. Let me just show you really quick. If we had swipe still on the nail, see how this nail looks a little bit more wet, whereas that first one looks nice and dry and chalky. If we were going into our protein bond and we put that protein bond over that wet surface, that swipe, what the swipe does, you guys, like I said before, the swipe is going to clean that nail. It's going to get rid of any contaminants that are on the nail. If we put protein bond onto that swipe, swipe is going to basically null and void the protein bond. So we want to make sure that we're waiting for our nail to be nice and completely dry before we go into our protein bond. And if you don't know what protein bond is, whoo, you're missing out, you guys. But in all seriousness, protein bond is our bonder, and it works kind of like an anchor, or I always say it kind of works like a double-sided tape. So it's going to stick down to that natural nail, but then it's going to leave a sticky surface. So you guys, if you take a look nice and close here, take a look at that nail. So you see where I did apply the protein bond, it looks nice and sticky and shiny. Up back here, I don't have any of that protein bond and it looks chalky and dry. That's always a good indicator when you are doing nails that if you start putting your product on and the nail looks like this and it's chalky and dry, you forgot to put your protein bond on. And you may tend to have some issues with lifting or separation if you forget to put your protein bond on. So kind of keep in mind, the indicator is that when it looks sticky and shiny like that, you've got your protein bond on. If it looks chalky and dry, you don't have protein bond. Now, when I'm working with protein bond, let me come back out a little bit so you can see. When I lift my brush up, I don't just lift the brush straight up and just go and flood that onto the nail. I'll actually either kind of tap off some of that extra or just kind of run the brush right around the top there. And what that's going to do is it's going to take off a little bit of that product, so I'm not going to flood it onto that nail. And notice on this one, I did start in the center and I work out to the sides. And what that does is that'll keep kind of the majority of the product in the center. And again, it's not going to flood into my cuticle area or sidewalls. Okay, you want to make sure that you are keeping this product off the skin. Now you guys, it does say it's a non-acid adhesion, which means that there's no methacrylic acid to this product, which is great, but it still is a chemical. Even though it doesn't have that acid that could burn or itch or irritate your skin, it is still a chemical, and we want to avoid getting that product on the skin at all costs. So that's, again, I start in the center of the nail, work out to the sides, and then back to that cuticle area. Now notice I did do 2 coats of our protein bond, and 2 coats is what we always recommend when you're working with either acrylics or hard gels. Any type of enhancement, 2 coats is going to work the best for you. It's going to give you that really good adhesion and making sure that you've got a really good even coat over the whole nail. Now next thing we're going to do, we are going to grab our forms, because you guys, I am going to be sculpting a nail here today. I'm not using tips or anything like that. We are going to be sculpting. So I'm going to grab one of our forms, and let me peel that off. And these are just our traditional forms. We do have extra long forms if you're doing XL nails. Let me show you guys those really quick. So those of you that like really long nails, we do have those. The red forms are the extra long forms. You can see they go nice and long there. But for today's nail, we're just going to be doing maybe not a short nail, but we're not going to be doing that crazy long. So what I'm going to start with is there's that little center tab right in the middle there. I'm going to take that out, and you can either just stick it right back there, or I just kind of stick it down and then press it down there. Shiny side up, sticky side up, it doesn't make a difference. As long as you put that form or that little tab on the back, that's going to give your form a little bit more durability. So it's not going to feel so flimsy, okay? It's going to give your form a little bit more structure. And then what we're going to do is I kind of roll my form kind of in half. I don't pinch it down the line. I just kind of roll it. And then these 2 little silver tabs right here on the end, I pinch those together as evenly as I can get them. You want to make sure that you're getting everything nice and even, because if your tabs go together lopsided, your nail's going to be lopsided. Okay? So make sure that you keep that nice and straight. If you're doing a square nail, you can leave that end part open right down here. We're going to be doing more of a little almond shaped nail today, so I'm just going to pinch the end of my form shut right there. And again, we're not going to be doing a crazy long nail. And maybe we'll do a longer nail, but not a crazy long nail. So I'm just going to pinch that just a little bit shorter. So that's going to be kind of the length of our nail right here. I'm going to open up the top. There's a little perforation down the top of my form. I'm going to open that up, and that's going to help me kind of have a little bit more, kind of a little more flexibility when I get this form onto the nail. You guys, I'm going to show you this from the side. Now, when I put forms on, I actually look at the nail nice and straight on, but I want you guys to see exactly how my form is going on. So I'm going to turn that hand on the side here. Now, when I put a form on, what I like to do is I will kind of start at a slight downward angle. Now, this is not how our form is going to stay. Okay, we definitely do not want our form angling down like that. We don't want to create little bird beaks or, bird claws or whatever. We want to get that form just right up underneath the nail. So let me loosen this up a little bit. So again, we're going to get that form up underneath the nail at kind of that downward angle, catch that free edge, and then we're just going to lift up until that form comes nice and straight out from that free edge, okay? Now, I'm going to secure that down on the sides, and then I'm going to look straight on that nail. Does that nail look, or does that form look nice and straight? I feel like it's a little bit kind of crooked, and a good way, if you guys are just learning to do nails, try all of these different little tricks, but if you take your orange wood stick or a nice straight cuticle pusher or something like that, if you line that cuticle pusher or orange wood stick up from the knuckle all the way through each knuckle down through the nail, down through the free edge, that should be a nice straight line. It looks like my form is just a little bit off-centered, and you guys, there is a nice bold silver line right down the center of that form, so you can kind of use that as your guide as well. So I'm just going to adjust this just a little bit. Might need to loosen up on the sides here, and we're just going to straighten that out. Okay, so I feel much better about that. That looks nice and straight now. Again, if I hold my orange wood stick straight down through the nail, straight down through the form, everything looks nice and straight and even. Okay, now do you see how it kind of flares out on the sides here? Just kind of that form looks a little bit wide. You want to just come underneath and just kind of pinch those together just a little bit more. That's going to help to get you a nice straight C curve, and your C curve is going to be nice and tight. You're not going to have a wide flared nail. Okay, so just some tricks for getting your forms on. And then let's get into our application. So I'm going to start by using our, whoops, not Build Pink. I'm going to start with our clear Sculptor in the precision tubes. And you guys, I believe this one, the clear Sculptor in the tube, I believe this one is on a blowout deal for the sale. So definitely check that out. You guys make your lists of things that you're going to need here, because we got all kinds of great deals on the website. But this one I definitely think is on a great deal right now. All right, we're going to come back in here. Yes, baby, you made the live. You made it today. Awesome. You guys, it's so exciting to see all of the familiar names on our chat here. I love to see you guys coming back for all of this free education. And make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that we can keep offering you guys all this free education. So we're going to start by just squeezing a little bit of that clear Sculptor onto the form right in front of that natural nail. So I just kind of get a little bit of a pearl there. You can see I don't have a ton on the nail, just a little bit. And then I'm going to use kind of the point of that nozzle to just kind of work that from side to side and just connecting that product right to that natural nail. Just going to come back all the way over to my left side, connecting that product all the way back to that corner. And then I can start to just feather that product down. I'm not really putting a lot of pressure, just kind of gliding over the surface. If I feel like I need a little bit more product, which I think I do just a little bit, I'll squeeze out just a little bit more. And then again, I can go through and just kind of pull that product to the length and the shape that I want to create. Now, don't worry if your application isn't perfect. I'm going to show you some tricks here to kind of clean up your shaping and make it a little bit better. Okay, so next thing I'm going to grab, come back out so you guys can see here. I am going to find, where did I lose it in my mess of things here today? All right, you guys, I'm going to grab my it's just a little ceramic tile. You can get little tiles from the hardware store and things like that. But this one is one of our little fun toys. And you guys, if you haven't seen them already, if you are looking at the mystery boxes, we've got gorgeous new brushes here. They come with the 2-piece, so it's got a handle. It's got all that bling on there for you. But this is our new gel brush. So it's, again, 2 pieces, but you got that handle on there. I'm just going to kind of press that brush out, make sure I don't have any extra gel in there from the last time. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back here for you. I'm going to use the edge of my brush, and I'm just going to kind of pull that line of gel straight back, right back to that corner there. And that's going to kind of fill in that corner. And I'm not sure if you can really see on the form or not with that clear gel. It's going to straighten out my lower arch here on the side. I'm going to wipe out that extra gel from my brush. We're going to turn the nail on the other side. We're going to do that same thing. I'm going to use the edge of my brush and just pull that right straight back so that product comes right back up into that corner, fills in that little edge, and then we've got our almond shape. Okay, I'm going to get this into the light. Now, you guys, I'm going to show you here really quick. Let me come back out. We do have our new little touch cure light. If you guys haven't seen this, you are going to love it. It is so quick and easy. And I do use kind of a combination of the two. So I use this light and then our full curing light, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. But depending on how you work, you may like this light. So I'm going to turn that on, and you can use that and just kind of freeze that free edge into place. So this is going to be great if you're working on full sets. You could just do a quick little freeze there, tap that light, turn that off. You could go on to your next nail and sculpt out that free edge. And then once you have all of your free edges done, get those back into the full light, the UV LED light, for a full cure. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here. But all I did with that quick little freeze was just kind of set that into place. So my gel isn't going to move, it's not going to run. But now I do want to make sure that I get that kind of set into place so I can do my next layer. So what I've got here is, this is one of our new Bling lights. And you guys, you can see it's got that gorgeous sparkly surface all the way around. This light on this side of my table, you guys, you're going to do this differently if you're working in salon, but I've got two lights on my table here. This side I've got set to a 30-second cure. So when I put the hand in, it's going to go on a 30-second timer. It'll turn off after 30 seconds. On my other side over here, you can see I've got another light. That one is set for 60 seconds. So depending on how long I want to cure is whichever light I'm going to use. Now again, you guys, if you're working in salon, you can set those timers on your lights to whatever you need to be curing, okay? It does have a 60 set, let me see, it's got a 15 second, a 30 second, a 60 second, and then a 90 second timer. And the 90-second timer is a slow cure. So if you're worried about heat spikes or anything like that, set it onto the 90 seconds and then it'll start curing everything slower. And then the power of the light will gradually increase through that 90 seconds, okay? All right, next product we're gonna use here is our base gel. And base is what's gonna give us the best bond. So you always wanna make sure that you're using base gel up here on the natural nail. Come in a little bit closer. And with this gel, it's a very thin gel, and you want to keep this application thin. You don't want to try to build up a lot of structure or anything with this. It's just to give you the bond. So I'm just going to kind of drag my brush through the surface of that gel, tap off that little string, and then let me come in closer. You can see. I'm just going to start with a good amount of pressure on my brush. I'm going to press that product down and use some pressure. Just kind of polish that layer of base onto the nail. And just like I did with my, my protein bond, I start more in the center of the nail, work out to the sides. So again, my product isn't going to flood up into that cuticle area. So using some pressure, get that product all the way down into those little nooks and crannies. Looks like I had a little bit of glitter still stuck in my brush that might be going onto the nail. That's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it because we're going to add some sparkle to this one. But I'm going to grab just a tiny little bit more of that base gel, and I'm going to just kind of drizzle that right through where that natural nail connects to my free edge. And this is going to really help to ensure that my free edge is connected. And after I cure this, I'm going to take the form off, and that free edge is going to stay where it is, okay? So this one is going to go back into that light again. And again, I'm just going in for another 30-second freeze. So as you're working in layers like this, you don't have to cure everything fully all the way through. As long as you cure it enough to go on to your next layer, you're going to be good, okay? So about 30 seconds is enough to cure that into place. Now, you guys, again, spoiler alert, stuff from the mystery boxes. You guys, I couldn't wait to be trying all of these products and using all these products. They are so fun. They're so pretty. So the colors that I'm going to be using today, let me think what I was going to be doing here. You guys, I got so excited I didn't even know what I was going to do today. But I think I'm going to be using our new silver glitter, and this one is called Stellar Silver. Try to say that one 5 times fast. Somebody was asking, what am I wiping my brushes on? This is just one of our little art palettes. You guys, if you don't have this, let me show you really quick the other thing that I use. If you just go to your local hardware store, you can get these little ceramic tiles, and they work great as an art palette as well. But if you have the art palette, you can use that or the little ceramic tile. Either one. Works great for cleaning out your brush because as you wipe, it's going to really grab all of that gel. And then you don't have to worry about trying to wipe it on your table. You guys, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of dust and stuff on my table. So that's why I don't want to wipe my brush on my table towels. So I don't have any dust or anything. But this is going to really help to just keep my brush nice and clean. Okay, so that's what I'm using here. All right, so again, Stellar Silver is our silver glitter. You guys, these are chunky. They look like a disco ball. If you guys saw our K-drama ad with all that disco ball and sparkle, this is exactly what it looks like. So this is what we're going to be using on our nail today, all that sparkly mirror. Gorgeous. And this one actually we do have, we have the Stellar Silver, and then we also have this same kind of same kind of design in gold, and this is called Ethereal Gold. I actually haven't even opened this one yet. I had little samples of it, but I haven't opened my brand new one here. So, but again, same kind of thing. This is kind of that mirrored look, but this has that gold tone to it. So super, super pretty, super, super sparkly. You guys, look at that hologram in there. Ah, I love it. And this actually looks really good on camera. A lot of times the glitters don't do quite the justice on camera, but this one's looking really good on camera. So that one, so again, I'm going to use this, what do we call it? Stellar Silver. But we do have the gold along with that too. So Stellar Silver, we've got 6. We got 6 new cream clays for you guys as well. What I'm going to be using today is Sterling Shine. I'll open that up, which is, oh my gosh, it's a beautiful metallic silver. And then we've got Radiant Orchid. You guys, these are so new. I'm still getting used to the names, so if I forget, I apologize. But Radiant Orchid, and you guys, they're very deceiving because it looks really bold in the container. But depending on how much you use, if you use just a little bit of it, it's just going to be a little bit more of a light, kind of a sheer. If you use a little bit more, it's going to really deepen up those colors. And again, you guys, I'm going to swatch these all out so you get really good view of all of these different colors after we do our nail. So stick around for that. Don't ditch out on us here. And then next one is Enchanted Indigo. And again, you guys, notice that as I kind of go from color to color, I just clean out my brush on the little tile. That's going to pull out enough of that color so that I can go right to my next color, and I don't have to worry about trying to clean out my brush or anything like that. Okay, same thing. What did we call this one? Enchanted Indigo. This one, again, it's kind of deceiving because in the container it looks very blue, but it's got more of that kind of purple tone to it. And oh, you guys, it's got kind of a pearl to it. I absolutely love both of these colors. But again, if you use a little bit thicker, you're going to see a little bit more of a deeper, more solid kind of a color. Okay, so just kind of depending on how you like to work with it and what colors you're looking for and kind of what depth and dimension you're working for, you can really change it up. And you guys, I'm actually going to, I kind of drizzled just a little bit of that gel right down the side. I always try to keep my containers clean around the edges if I can. That way they're not going to leak or anything like that. Carolyn's asking, what is in that green jar? That one right there? You mean that one right in front of me? That one that is my favorite color? You guys, if you've seen my demos, if you've seen any of my work, you know that teal is one of my favorite colors. And you guys, we have in one of our mystery boxes, we have a whole entire collection of confettis. And you guys, these are, again, they're like disco balls. They are absolutely gorgeous. They are super sparkly, super gorgeous. They're going to be great for the holidays. I can't remember which mystery box that one is in. Moderators, if you remember and you can let us know, maybe help us out here. But I can't remember if it's the acrylic or the gel. I believe it's the acrylic mystery box. But the color that I'm going to be using today is Dreamy Drizzle. And look at this one, you guys. I'm just going to show you the cap right here. So these come as, you know, as the container here. Oh my gosh, look at that. I love it. I love it. That's my favorite color. But if you take a look, there's a couple of different sizes in here. So it's not just one size of a confetti. There's small, medium, and large, I'm going to say, in there. So you can kind of work how you want to work. You can see there's, let me see if I can grab my little brush here. Let me show you, point that out. So there's a bigger piece right here, you can see, and then there's kind of that medium size right here, and then those smaller ones. So you can really kind of work with whatever sizes and shapes you do. But because there's those different sizes and or not really shapes, just different sizes, it's going to really add so much more depth and dimension. And I always like to say interest to your nails. So those are the colors and the things that we're going to be using in our nail today. So let me just kind of set some other things aside here, make some room for my nail. And come back out here. All right, so we've got our base layer cured. We've got our extension cured. I'm going to just pop that form off. You guys, I'm just kind of pinching that form underneath, making sure it's completely separated from that gel on there. That way I'm not going to pull that extension off. But now I have a nice kind of just a space, a surface to work on. just a platform to work on. That was the word I was looking for. And you can see I don't have any structure. I don't have any thickness. I'm going to add in some colors and glitters and sparkly things, and then we'll build structure over the top of this. But let's go ahead and start with our cream clays, and then we'll add the other sparkly things on top. So again, we've got Enchanted Indigo and Radiant Orchid and Sterling Shine. And we're just going to kind of start to play around with these. And again, I'm just using our new Pro Gel Sculptor. It's a number 5 brush. It's a size 5. And I'm just going to start to kind of add color wherever I feel like I want to add color. If I want it a little bit darker, I can add darker. If I want it a little bit light, a little bit more sheer, I'll kind of blend that out a little bit more. Let me come in so you can really see. And again, I'm going to just kind of clean my brush out on that little tile as I go in between colors so that I don't really contaminate those little containers with the color. So you guys just kind of play around with the colors. You can blend them together on that nail. I'm just kind of creating a little bit of texture. When I use those cream clays, I kind of like a little bit of texture to them. So it's not just a flat surface. So I just kind of dab that onto the nail. And maybe we'll just add a little bit more of that silver up top. And again, you guys blend how you like those colors to look. Clean out your brush in between if you need to. Let's maybe add a little bit more, a little darker color at the end. And you guys, I'm not really floating these like a gel, like a hard gel, like I would try to be building up the structure of the nail. I'm just kind of dabbing, okay? Just kind of dabbing that color on there. Let's grab a little more silver for up top here. Now, when I get up to that cuticle area, I want to make sure that I'm keeping just a tiny little margin so I'm not touching the cuticle. So I kind of slow my motion down just a little bit and just kind of pressing right up around that cuticle to make sure that I get that product up in there. But you guys, I'm going to show you a quick little trick. If you are a little bit maybe shaky, maybe you had too much coffee and you can't quite hold your hand steady, we do have, and again, this is something that is on a blowout deal right now as well, you guys. We have our little striper brushes, and this, we actually have 2 different ones. This is our striper, and we also have, let me see if I can find it here. We have our micro detailer as well, and these are both on a blowout deal, you guys. I believe these are $5 each. So those of you artists out there, this is a great time to stock up on these brushes, but you can use these brushes, and I'm going to use, again, this is our micro detailer, and this is just our regular liner brush. I'm going to use that liner brush right up around that cuticle area. Maybe we'll grab a little bit of this color here, and I'm just going to use that right up around, oops, sorry you guys, you actually want to see this, don't you? Just get right up around that cuticle area so that I can get nice and close into that cuticle without getting any product on that skin. It looks like I did get a little bit of product down on the side here. Always check your edges. Make sure that if you do accidentally get any product on the skin, go through and grab an orange wood stick or something that you're going to be able to use to clean that off the skin. Always make sure to do that before you cure. You want to keep your clients nice and safe. You don't want them having any contact with uncured gel. Just keep your clients safe, keep yourself safe, and you guys don't use your own finger to wipe that off. Like I said, grab an orange wood stick or something like that. Use that to clean off around any edges, okay? Keep yourself safe, keep your clients safe, and let's add some sparkle. Now, you could do this a couple of different ways. You could actually add the glitters and things right into that uncured gel. What I'm going to do instead, I'm going to just set all of my other gels off to the side here. I'm just going to use my Touch Cure light here, and I'm going to bring that right down there. We'll turn that on, and I'm just going to kind of freeze this gel into place. And then I'm going to add, then I'm going to add another layer over the top of it, of our clear gel. But rather than going into the light, you could definitely go into the light as well. But this is just, it's a nice, quick, and easy way, especially if you're only doing one nail as an accent or something like that. You can just pop this under the Touch Cure light really quick, kind of set that into place, and then you can move on to your next layer without your client having to go back and forth into that light. So I'm going to open up my glitters here. We got our silver, and then we've got our teal. And I'm going to go back to my brush here. I'm going to clean that out a little bit. And that same base gel that we were using earlier, I'm going to grab a little bit of that. Whoops, let me turn off my touch cure light here. I turned that back on. Turn that off. All right. And I'm going to grab a little bit of that base gel. And we're just going to brush on just kind of an even coat. Again, we're not trying to build up thickness. All we're trying to do at this point is just kind of give that nail a sticky surface so we can add in our glitters. Now let's grab, I'm just going to grab my gel brush here, that same thing that I'm using to put that gel on. I'm just going to kind of touch it into my glitter, add in some of those big chunkier pieces. You can add them wherever you feel like you want that shine and that sparkle, wherever you want to put those. I think I'll do just kind of setting those down into that nail. If you want to kind of follow the colors, if you want to put the glitter onto the purple or onto the silver, however you want to, just kind of play around with your colors. You guys, this is where the fun of doing nails comes in, is you can just play around, you can try things, you can work with the colors, see what you like. And I think we're going to be good there. And then I'm going to go back to that little liner brush that I had. Let me actually clean this out. I want to make sure that I don't have any colored gel in this one. So I'm just going to use a wipe and just kind of clean out that colored gel. This one, I'm going to grab a couple of those smaller teal colored confettis. I'm going to set those down in there. See where we're liking this. You guys, what do you think so far? Are you liking the colors? Tell me in the chat. Tell me which color that I've used so far, which one is your favorite? Because you guys know that my favorite is the teal color. So let me know in the chat which one is your favorite. I want to know. And again, you guys, you can kind of pick and choose if you want some of those larger pieces. You can set those larger pieces down in. If you want those smaller pieces, you can grab smaller pieces. Whatever floats your boat. I don't know, maybe is that a Minnesota saying? I don't know, but whatever floats your boat. All right, you guys are liking the teal. You are right along with me. Oh, let's see, the cream clays. Yes, you guys. I think you guys are right on. You guys are right on track with my my tastes here for color. So I love it. I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and freeze that one back into place as well. And again, I could go back into my UV LED light, or I'm just going to use our little touch cure light. Actually turn that on. So again, just to kind of set that into place, get that product really just set into place there. Now you guys, if it's easier for you, let me kind of back out here. I'm just going to touch that really quick. This does come, so let me kind of show you here. So it's got that little stand, but if it's easier for you, you can actually take that little light right out of the stand. Just slide that right out, and then you can use it. Oops, there we go. You can use it right like that. So again, whatever's easier for you. If it's easier for you to kind of get around that whole surface, because you guys, I actually, I think it was yesterday's live stream with Greg, somebody was asking, can you use this light to fully cure the nail? And technically you can use this to do a full cure. It is the same or close to the same wavelength as our UV LED lights, but it is a little bit trickier to get a perfect even cure with this one. With this one, you guys, when you have gel, you have to make sure that it's curing both from the top. Whoops, I'll set that down real quick. You have to make sure that it's curing from the top down, the bottom up, and then also from the sides. If you're using the little light here, it's really only curing where you're holding that light, okay? So to get a full even cure all the way through, and that for that full 60 seconds, it's gonna be kind of tedious. So I would say, yes, you guys, this light does have the same strength as, or about the same strength as the UV LEDs, but if you are doing a flash cure, use this little, the touch cure light. If you're trying to do a full cure, I would highly recommend using the just the regular UV LED, okay? So personal preference, but make sure that you are fully curing. So whatever, I guess the moral of that story was, whatever light you're using, make sure that you are getting that nail cured completely, okay? All right, so we've got our colors in there, we've got our glitters in there. Guys, before I move on, I do need to close everything up because I have so much on my station here. If I leave all my containers open, I'm probably going to spill something or drop something, or like I just did, I just dropped my little cap here. So as you kind of work, I always try to keep my station fairly clean so that I don't get maybe dust or anything into my gels or contaminate anything. So you will notice that as I do work, I do try to keep everything nice and clean. All right, one more cap on our base gel. And then we will completely encapsulate this. And I'm going to use my Build Pink in the tubes. And let's go ahead and, actually let me show you really quick here. Again, from that side view, you can see that there's still not a whole lot of structure to this nail. There's not a whole lot of thickness or anything like that. So now we need to build that up. So we're going to again use our Build Pink in the applicator tubes here. And I'm going to, do you guys notice the angle? So this is the angle that I'm holding that nail. I've got it kind of angled downward, and this is going to help my product flow down the length of the nail rather than if I had that nail flat, rather than it flowing down into the sides. Okay, so make sure that you keep that finger angled downward. I'm going to squeeze out a little bit of my gel right at that cuticle area. I'm going to work in kind of a circular motion to bring that product out to the side, and then back over to the other side in the opposite direction. So around the right side, I'm working in kind of a clockwise circular motion. On that left side, I'm working in a counterclockwise circular motion. Do you guys know what like actual clocks are these days? I feel like everything's so digital. Do people even understand the clockwise and counterclockwise? Let me know in the chat. Do you get my reference to that? But I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze out a little bit more of that gel. And then just kind of start to bring that product down the length of the nail. Squeeze out a little bit more as needed, pulling that product down. And you guys, now you can see that once I get that Build Pink up over the top of my glitters and my colors, it really brings out the color, it brings out the shine, especially on those mirror glitters. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. It just kind of magnifies everything. So again, just kind of pulling that product down the length of my nail. And then I'm going to do a quick check from the side. It looks like I'm pretty okay, but I think I'm going to add just a little bit more right through kind of that arch area. And then I'm going to grab my brush and just kind of use my brush to make sure that my product is right up around my cuticle area. You guys, let me clean that off real quick. Make sure again that you clean off any product if it does accidentally touch the skin. You don't want to leave that on their skin. Getting that all the way up to that cuticle area, making sure we've got good structure. And again, you guys, as I'm working here and trying to get that product into place, I notice that some of my product is flowing down the sides. So if I need to, I can come back to that little touch cure light and I can just kind of freeze that product around the edges. Let me just come back out here with my camera real quick. So again, just kind of freezing that product around the edges so it really just kind of stays in place. And then we'll kind of check that nail, see where we're at. And I think my structure is pretty good. You can see it kind of needs a little bit more product right down the arch. So let's go ahead and add just a little bit more. And we'll come back through. Just kind of feathering that off to the sides, but keeping the majority of that product right in that arch area to build up the proper shape and thickness. And I think we're good there. So now I'm going to get this into, let me get it into the light real quick. But I've got this into my UV LED light on my other side because again, you guys, this light I have set at the 60-second timer, and then my light over here on my other side I have at 30 seconds. When you're working on real clients, you're going to have them set at whatever time that you need. But for me, for my demo purposes, it's just easier to have one light set at 60 and one at 30, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. when you are working on actual clients, you guys, you won't have your lights turned into the center of the table. You'll actually have the light, this part here, facing out towards your client, and then the back part of that light is going to be facing you. So, excuse me, you're going to be able to see that that display in the back, and you're going to be able to set your timers as to what time you need to cure that nail at. Okay? So what do we need to do in the meantime? In the meantime, we need to make sure, you guys, I always try to go through, clean up my little nozzles here, put my gels away. If you did hear that beep, I think hopefully you guys did hear that beep. On the lights, they do have that timer, so it does count down your time. And you can either turn that beep on or off. I know some people don't like to hear that beep all the time. Me personally, I don't. So I normally, on my other light here, on my 30-second light here, I have the timer or the beep turned off so that I don't have to hear that beep. But some people like to have that indicator. So you have that option. You can either leave that beep turned on or you can turn that beep off. Now you guys, really quickly, if you didn't see what I've got over to the side here, I got to show you this because I absolutely love it. This is our little brush holder. It's just a little crown like that for all of us, all the kings and queens out there. So I just set my gel brushes especially right on there when I'm done. You guys, I have so many times I've just taken my brush and I just set it down onto my table and I have a little bit of gel on that. And then I tend to get that gel on my table or I get it on my arm. Now we've got this cute little brush holder so you can set your brushes right there, keep the gel off of your table, off of your arms and all that good stuff. But I am going to close up my brush here, make sure that that stays nice and clean. So just a fun little other thing that's in one of the mystery boxes for you guys. Now, let me grab a lint-free wipe. And once our nail is cured, as it is right now, it does have a tacky surface on it. So we are going to grab our swipe. I'm going to get a little bit of swipe onto my lint-free wipe. Now this time I'm not using my manicure brush to cleanse this. I am using that wipe to cleanse the nail. So we're going to cleanse all the way through that nail. Make sure to get rid of all of that tacky surface. Make sure your nail stays in your hand. And then we can go ahead and file out our nail. Now you guys, I am going to grab our dust collector here. And our new dust collectors, it's the same bling as our UV LED lights over here. This one, same thing, it does have, let me turn this on actually. It does have the beep, but this one has, you guys, on camera, I don't know why it flashes like that, but it doesn't flash like that for me on my end here. But it does have the indicator here. You got the battery indicator. You notice that it's cordless. So you use that cord, charge it up, and then you can use it as a cordless item. And then you can adjust, whoops, turn that actually on. You can adjust the level of your fan. So a lot of times, honestly, you guys, 6 or 7 works pretty well, but you can crank that all the way up to 10, and that's going to be your dust collector. So as you're filing, keep that right in front of you there, and this way it's going to keep any of that dust from flying up into your face so that you're not going to be breathing any of that in. Okay? We are going to switch to our X-Cut. This is a carbide bit. And I'm going to turn my speed up to, because we're using gel, I'm going to say anywhere between, I would say 13 to 15,000 RPMs. Gel tends to file a little bit easier than acrylic. So usually when I work with acrylic, I go about 14 to 16 RPMs. And then with gel, I go usually just a little bit lower. So we're going to start by just straightening out our sides. And I'm just kind of pulling my bit straight down that left side. And then I'm going to push my bit back on the right side. You always want to make sure that your bit is going across the nail in the opposite direction that the bit is rotating. So you get a little bit of resistance. Okay, we're going to kind of clean up that free edge a little bit. So again, I pull down on my left side, I push back on my right side, and then on that free edge, I just kind of make a little U-turn. So just kind of coming right around that free edge. Okay, and I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm letting the bit do the work for me. Okay, if you use too much pressure, you tend to get your bit kind of jumpy a little bit and things like that. So just making contact. Now I am going to turn the nail on the side, and I want to make sure that my lower arch here is coming straight out from the natural nail. So let me show you what I mean by that. If I were to take my orange wood stick, I want to make sure that my product comes straight out, basically from that cuticle through that natural nail and then straight off the free edge. So if I line up my orange wood stick straight in line with that natural nail and then straight off that free edge, everything that's being covered by my orange wood stick right now needs to get filed off. Okay, so you can kind of see all of that that's hanging down there, that all needs to get filed off. Now, can you do this with your hand file? Yes, but me personally, through lots of practice, I've learned how to use my electric file to just push back and clean up and straighten out that lower arch. So now that's coming nice and straight out from that natural nail back here. Same thing on the other side. Now this side I've got a little bit more product hanging. You can definitely see everything that's hanging down here needs to get filed off. So all of that product all down here, that needs to get filed off as well. Okay. Same thing, I'm just going to kind of pull down here, just tapering that in. Now notice I don't try to come all the way back up into this corner. You guys, you got to be careful with this bit. It is a safe bit if you take off the sharp edge of it, but you still want to be extra cautious right up at that sidewall. So I don't go all the way back up into that sidewall. I start right about here and then pull forward, okay? Don't worry about anything else that's kind of hanging right through here. We'll come back with our hand file and we'll clean that up perfectly. So what we're going to do now, we're going to turn this finger on the side, and you guys, I want you to see how I'm holding the hand here. Right now I've got that overhand grip. I'm not holding from under here. When you're holding from under here and using the electric file, you don't necessarily get all the proper positioning, okay? So holding from an overhand grip, that's actually going to help you to have more control of where you need to move your client, so you can turn your client on all your different angles here. But also, you guys, I want you to look at how my wrist is positioned. When I hold from that underhand grip, a lot of times my wrist gets bent like this, and that can actually put strain on your wrists and your palms and your hands. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your wrist health in consideration. So that's another reason that we use that overhand grip, so that you can keep that wrist nice and straight and nice and comfortable, not bent kind of in that shape. So again, we're going to look from our side view. Now I'm going to take my bit and we're going to come right up around that cuticle area just to kind of thin and taper. Now I want you guys to see the angle that I'm holding my bit. It is at a slight downward angle, but I'm not angling my bit up. I'm not trying to use just that corner. Do you see the whole area where there's dust? That's the area that I'm trying to use. So I would say kind of the top 2/3 of your bit is really where you're going to be working with, okay? So again, coming around our cuticle, getting that nice and tapered down so it's nice and flush down to that natural nail. And we're going to still look from the side view, but we're going to come right through the arch and take down any bulk that we need to. Let me come out just a little bit. Now I don't need to take down a whole lot. I've got just a little bit of bulk right through there, and I'm going to take down a little bit of bulk right through my free edge, and then just kind of make those two areas flow right together. Now notice I'm just staying right down that center area. I'm not trying to come all the way from side to side. I don't need to at this point. What my purpose is at this point is to just get the view of my arch. So again, nice and thin and tapered at the cuticle area, flowing up to a little bit thicker right in our stress area, and then flowing down nice and thin at our free edge. Once we've cut in that arch, then we can kind of move this nail and we can look from down the barrel. So we're going to look straight down the barrel of this nail. And now at this point you can kind of see where I cut previously, so right down that kind of that center line. Now what I need to do is thin out these sides over here where it's bulky. So I'm just going to pull my bit towards myself. On the left side here I'm using about the top, I would say about the top third of my bit, just pulling through to take down that bulk. On the right side I'm going to use the lower third of my bit. Okay, so just using that lower part of the bit, pulling through. And do you see how now it's getting a really nice smooth contour? It's really nice and tapered all the way through that surface. Just again, pulling that bit. Now, to get everything nice and smooth and kind of connected, I'll work with the base of my bit all the way up to the center into the middle part of my bit, and then back down all the way down to the top part of my bit. So that's going to really help to connect and smooth all of those high spots and low spots, okay? Now, at this point, you could go right to your hand file, but I like to switch back to my sanding band. So that sanding band that we used kind of as our first step when we were prepping that nail, I like to switch back to this one and just kind of go through all of those same motions one more time, but I'm turning my speed down just a little bit to about 6,000 or 7,000 RPMs. And this is going to really kind of help to taper everything in and perfect everything a little bit more, so I have less filing to do with my hand file. You guys, like we were talking about before with your hand positioning, you want to make sure that you're keeping your hands and your wrists and your shoulders and all of that in good health. And anything that I can do with my electric file is going to be easier than trying to use my hand file. Because you guys, like I was showing you before, the motions that we use when we're using the electric file is like this, okay? If you're using your hand file, let me find my hand file. You're doing a lot more work with your hand file, which is going to be putting more strain on your wrists, on your elbows, on your shoulders. So instead of filing so much with my hand file, I will do as much as I can with my electric file, and then I'll just come back through with my hand file to really just kind of perfect everything and just kind of clean up, okay? So all of these different things that I'm doing with my electric file is just going to make my life easier when I do my hand filing, even on these lower arches. Now with this bit, this is a nice easy bit. It's not going to cut skin or anything. So this one, if I need to, I can get up a little bit closer, kind of into that lower arch, into that corner. But you guys be careful that you're not cutting up into the corner up into here, okay? So just again, still making sure that that product is going to come straight out, okay? All right, you guys still with me? If you are with me, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you're enjoying our lesson today, don't worry, we're not done. We still got a ways to go here. But we're going to start with our filing. And you guys, this is a file that I've used on previous demos. But if you are using a brand new file, I always have my little prep file here. This is just an old file that I use to make sure that you go across the surface of your file to take off any sharp edges so that you don't end up cutting your client, or if you're working on yourself, you don't want to cut yourself. So make sure that you're going through all of those edges, making sure that it's nice and smooth and you're not going to cut. All right, let me come back here. So as I'm starting here, I'm going to start on my perimeter. And my perimeter is my sides, so my right side, my left side, and then my free edge. Now, with this shape that I'm working on today, is kind of an almond shape. My sides and my free edge kind of flow together. So we always talk about our 5-point filing system, which is 1, 2, 3. And then our 4th is our lower arch. And then our 5th is our other lower arch. Now, when you're doing the almond shape, it's going to be more of a 4-point, so you're not going to have that extra free edge point, okay? So again, side 1 is our right side. Now, you guys, I'm going to back out so you can see how I hold my file. I basically kind of set my file into just kind of that little crease right where my fingers kind of meet. And then I just kind of grab onto my file with my last 2 fingers, actually my last 3 fingers, use my pointer finger to balance, and then just kind of thumb to kind of guide, okay? So as I'm filing on my sides, I always want to make sure that I'm keeping my file nice and straight up and down, and I'm not angling. So all I really want to be able to see is that blue line down the center of my file, and balance on your opposite side. That way you're going to help to kind of keep a nice straight line, okay? So straight down that side, and I'm kind of coming in a little bit. So let me see if I can come in a little closer for you. So coming in a little bit on that side to kind of round into that almond shape. Same thing on the other side. Now on the other side, I switch my hand position. So I go from kind of that grip here to holding my file more in between my fingers like this. Okay, so you can see, again, just kind of holding between my fingers like this, again, supporting on that opposite side. And then I can go, again, straight in on that side. Okay, straighten those out. All right, so let me see here one more time. Just like to kind of, sometimes I go from one side to the other just to kind of make sure that everything is nice and even. And you guys notice that I went from this side with that grip. I actually turned my file around, same grip, but that's just another way that you can file your sides. Okay, so instead of switching from grip to a different grip, you can go all the way around using that same grip. Okay, so just a couple of little hints on that. Now once I've got my sides nice and straightened out, I'm going to turn that nail on the side view. Come in here. And remember when we were talking about getting that product kind of cleaned up from that side? This is where we're going to do that. So we're going to come straight out from that natural nail, making sure that that free edge comes nice and straight out. Okay, we're going to turn that over, do the same thing on the other side, making sure that that is going to come nice and straight out. All right, I think we're good there. Now, we're going to come around our cuticle area, so up around this area here. And when I hold my file here, I kind of hold my file like I'm holding a fork when I'm eating dinner. So you hold it like you'd hold a fork. So it's basically just resting on my middle finger, and then I kind of grip onto it with my thumb and my pointer finger. So we're going to come up and around, and I'm kind of using a curved motion. I'm not just picking at it with it straight. I'm kind of coming up at a curved motion. And this is going to help to kind of taper in that cuticle. You can work in a downward curved motion as well. Just kind of rounding out those sides, getting everything nice and tapered on those sides. Same thing on the other side. Now, you guys, I was holding my file like a fork for that left side. I switch over it, and it's kind of a, I don't know, this is how I hold a knife. So again, if you're sitting there at dinner, I kind of hold it like a knife. So I have my fork and my knife. So that's how I tend to hold my files. So on this side, we're just going to again come around, rounding out those sides. Oops, sorry guys, there you go. And then I'm going to take a look just kind of from this side angle, and I'm going to put a little bit of pressure with my file right down at my free edge, and I'm going to file backwards. And this is going to help to taper in that free edge, so it gets my free edge nice and thin, and I still have that bulk right through my stress area, just to kind of smooth everything out. Now, we're going to turn the hand around, so you're going to see my client's hand is turned around, and you guys, this is an easy thing to do. So it's just going from this position to this position like that, okay? So it's not going to be uncomfortable or anything for your client. But we're going to turn her hand around, and we're going to check all of our shaping from this direction. So we're going to check our sidewalls, make sure everything is nice and straight. Same thing, oops, sorry guys, same thing over on the other side here, make sure everything is nice and straight. I'm going to clean up that almond shape right around the free edge. And then I'm going to look backwards down the barrel. So we're going to go right through there. So backwards down the barrel. And I'm going to just kind of flow my file, and you guys, holding my file for this, I've just got my file between my pointer and my middle finger, so just right in between there like that, and then just kind of balancing with my thumb on the top. Okay, so again, kind of flowing all the way through, and by keeping your file in motion like this, this is going to help to give a really nice smooth surface. If you just kind of pick at the nail like that, every time you pick, every time you just file in that one direction, that's putting a flat spot there and a flat spot here. When we keep that file in motion, that's how you're going to get that nice smooth contour and that nice smooth finish. So as I work, I do kind of look kind of back and forth down the barrel of that nail to make sure that I can see all of the different areas of that nail. And I think we are good. All right, let's come back here with, oops, sorry guys, with our manicure brush. We will dust that off. I'm going to turn off my dust collector. I'll set that off to the side. And what time is it? Those of you that have been with us in the chat for a while, you know what time it is. It is top coat time. So I'm going to top coat this nail. I'm going to dust it off first. So again, those of you in the chat, you know what to do. Start our top coat chant. If you don't know what to do, hit the subscribe button first, and then you can join into the top coat chant in the chat, and you'll see what to do. Just follow the crowd. So we're going to go back to our swipe, and this is the same product that we were using to cleanse that nail before we did our prep. We're going to use this. We're going to go through. We are going to scrub that nail so it's nice and clean. Get all of that dust out from underneath the nail. We are going to grab our protein bond. We're going to add just a little bit more adhesion to the top of this nail. And I'm also going to grab my Ultimate Finish top coat. And we'll make sure that swipe is nice and dry. Get our one extra coat of protein bond on here. And that's again going to give us a little bit more adhesion for our top coat so our top coat doesn't chip or anything like that. And let's get our Ultimate Finish on here. And I know you guys, I'm keeping the nail a little farther away from the camera because I don't want you to see it perfectly just yet. I'm going to be a kind of sneaky here. I'm going to tease a little bit because we're going to get this into the light. And while this is in the light, I am going to do some swatches for you guys so that you can see all of the gorgeous colors that we have come out with for Black Friday. So let's get that into the light. And I know so many of you guys have been asking about swatches for colors and gels and all of the fun stuff that we came out with this year. So I am going to, I've got a lot of swatches for you guys to see today. So first things first, let's go ahead. You guys, since we already had the cream clays out, I'm going to do a quick swatch of all 6 of these colors for you. So the 3 colors that we've already used, and then the 3 additional ones that we've got. And you guys, I'm actually going to use this is our dual-ended spatula and brush in one. And I love this when I'm working with the cream clays for kind of polishing because these are going to give you just a really good pressure. It's just, let me show you this one versus this brush. So you can see that our gel brush is, oh, you heard the beep on the light, but our gel brush is a little bit more, it's just a hair narrower than our dual-ended brush, but you can definitely see it's a little bit longer. And for the cream clays, I like kind of that shorter, wider brush because I feel like I get a little bit better kind of pressure to it. So that's why I like to use the dual-ended brush and spatula when I'm working with the cream clays. So just a personal preference. But let's grab, so this first one was, there you guys, I don't know why my camera's not focusing. There you go. Enchanted Indigo. So again, this one is absolutely gorgeous. Come in there. And when you're working with cream clays, you don't need to use a lot of pressure with them. It's more of not quite a floating, but not quite pressure with your brush. Just kind of gentle pressure. Gentle pressure, gentle pressure. And again, if you want a darker, kind of a darker shade, you can go over with a second coat. Personal preference. Okay. But that is our first one. Again, Enchanted Indigo. I'm going to clean my brush out here quick. And then we've got Radiant Orchid. Again, absolutely gorgeous here. Same thing. This is a little bit more of, I mean, I guess orchid is the name of it, so it's definitely that orchid color. But again, you guys, if I put a little bit more pressure on there, you can see how a little bit more sheer I can make this. Or if I take a little bit more color and apply it just a little bit thicker. You guys, you don't want to apply them too thick. Again, you can add a second coat if you need to, but if you add them too thick, then things get a little bit wonky with curing. So any of my gel polishes, whether it's the cream clays or just regular gel polishes, always do 2 coats for full coverage. But this is going to be our Radiant Orchid. And then we've got, what else do we've got here? We've got Bronze Jasper. Oh, you guys, this is kind of a, it's kind of a mocha-y kind of a look almost. Actually looks like hot chocolate in there, don't you think? Looks like it, or I mean, I guess mocha, but I like hot chocolate too. So just kind of a soft mocha-y, Yeah, I think we need to go to the coffee shop right now. That's exactly what this is making me think of, is a mocha with a little bit of whipped cream on there and maybe a little chocolate sprinkle. But again, let me grab a little bit more color so you can see what a little bit deeper is going to look like. And you guys, as you're working with these, I kind of keep in mind kind of that pearl or that metallic look to them. So I do kind of like to make sure that I'm brushing nice and straight so that I don't get weird swirl patterns in there. But that is our, what was this? Bronze? What was this? Bronze jasper. So bronze jasper. And then we've also got Gilded Glow. Oh, you guys, this is a beautiful color. Those of you that love MJ's videos, she did a beautiful design with this color and some other fun things that that video is going to be coming out here in a little while too. So make sure that you guys keep on our YouTube channel here. We've got tons of videos coming out for the sale. This week, I know we've got videos coming out probably every day of the week, showing all of our new designs or new colors and new products and all of that kind of stuff. So make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you can come back and you can get all of this great free education and see all of these beautiful designs and the gorgeous work that our team is doing. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And again, this was kind of that gold, definitely a metallic gold, but let me just add a little bit more on there, kind of deepen that up just a little bit. And again, you guys, as I'm working, a little bit lighter pressure with my brush to really make sure that I get a nice smooth application. There we go. That is absolutely gorgeous. And again, that one was Gilded Glow. A really beautiful gold color on there. Tina Evans, I think, was asking, how can we get the new cream clays? You guys, mystery boxes. Spoiler alert, sorry if you were not wanting to know the mystery, but mystery boxes, that's where all of these cream clays are going to be. I believe these are in the gel mystery box. Moderators, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe these are in the gel mystery box. It would make sense. Let's see, and this one is Petal Pearl. Oh, you guys, this is such a pretty soft pink. Just kind of that little soft baby pink. Oh, you guys, this one's going to be great for French manicures. Ooh, you can do this over white. You could do this under your white. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to be absolutely gorgeous. I think that's probably what I'm going to use this one the most for. But look at how just soft and pretty that one is. And again, that one was Petal Pearl. Petal Pearl. All right, so these all, I'm going to pop this one into this stand into the light. We'll cure that for the full 60 seconds. You guys, don't let me forget to show you the final look of our nail. Because I know you think I forgot. And I probably will. Oops. Hang on a second here. I got to make sure that I got the right timer on there. There we go. Okay, sorry guys. All right, so that was 5, and I've got one left here, and this one is Sterling Shine. And again, this is the one that we used on our nail today. So you guys already saw this one, but we'll do a quick swatch there for you. So again, Sterling Shine. And again, another metallic. Absolutely love the silver and gold here, you guys. The metallics, I absolutely love them. I think they are so beautiful. And seen it already. We also came out with tack-free matte top coat. These metallics is going to look even I'm not going to say even better, but it's going to give you a totally different look. It's going to be kind of more of a brushed metal rather than that shiny chrome. So you guys, don't be afraid to try the matte top coat over these metallic colors. I think you're going to be surprised. So again, this one was Sterling Shine. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so this one, sorry guys, that beep is going there. Let me get this one into the light for cream clays together. And get the light on here. Sorry guys. All right, I'm not sure if I hit the right button on that, but we'll be okay. All right, so I'm going to keep those cream clays together over here. What else do I have to swatch out for you? Oh, I know what you guys have been wanting to see. We've got the diamond gels, I think is what we're calling them, but they're one-step colors. Let me come back out here. And we've got, do I have them all? Let's see, we've got, oops, 2, 4, 6, 8 diamond gels. These are absolutely gorgeous, you guys, for the holidays. These are sparkly, they are beautiful. They can be used just by themselves, or you can use them over a different color. But let me swatch these out for you as well. And let's start with, we've got Glacial Prism. And let me grab my swatch here. Come back in a little closer for you. All right, so Glacial Prism, kind of that icy blue. I love this one, you guys. This is going to be great for those kind of wintry designs. Maybe throw some snowflakes over it. Those icicle kind of designs. Absolutely love this. So pretty. And again, you guys, that's just one coat. So one coat of the color is going to give you a good coverage of the glitter, but if you feel like you need more, you can definitely do the second coat. But you guys, these are the one step, so they don't need a separate base or top coat with them. Once they cure out, they are going to cure out to a full tack-free surface, so you don't have to wipe them or anything. Some people are saying it's blurry. I hope it's not blurry. It doesn't look blurry on my end, but moderators, let me know if it's looking blurry. And need to restart? Alrighty, you guys, I apologize for that. Let's go ahead and restart. Come on back, join us back here, and I will restart.